Hi, this is Helen, the Dynamic Dipper. We're in Morecambe Bay, but we're not actually on the beach in Morecambe Bay, we're in my kitchen because we're going to talk about packing order for going cold water swimming. So I'm going up to Coniston this afternoon, so I'm packing my bag for real for me to go cold water swimming. What's the first thing? So, hot hands, these little sachets here, okay? What I do is I put a sachet in each sock, like this, the morning that I know I'm going swimming, yeah? And I just roll them up like that, and then they're cosy and warm for when I put my socks on when I come out. 10 hours of heat it says, but they last longer than that. And then after that, you've got earplugs, goggles and hat. And they just need to go in a separate little pouch, just for accessibility when you're there. When you've got yourself ready and you're in your costume or your wetsuit, you're not rummaging around in your bag, you put them in a separate pocket. Okay. And now if you have a particular problem with feeling dizzy when you come out of the water, whether it's cold water or you're swimming in the summer, it's probably to do with an earplug situation. So I have earplugs in both ears. One of them is specially moulded because I've got a perforated eardrum, but the other one is like a putty that you can mould to the shape of your ear. And I will put a picture on and a link on underneath at the end of the video. So it just covers the whole of the ear in the eardrum, and then you take it out and you put it back into a bowl and you put it in your case. They're the best earplugs that I've experienced. Other people may prefer other things. You're packing your flask first. I work in Cumbria, so sometimes I'm doing stuff in the morning and then going for a swim later on in the day. This flask keeps things very warm. I think up to about 18 hours actually. So that's a good flask, and so I'll put that one in first. Okay. Today, instead of me having chocolate or biscuits or cake, I'm going to take some warm rice pudding with jam, with a dollop of jam, and it's going in my food flask. Okay. And then you need to put your slippers in. Okay, so I've spoken about these slippers before. They come in their own pouch. They're a bit like sleeping bags for feet. I'll put my slippers in. You'll be looking to put your socks in. Okay, so you've put your hot hand sachets in. You put your socks in. Bobble hat.
Times two. Okay, maybe not a bobble and a bobble, actually. I've just picked two random hats. Maybe a normal hat without a bobble and then a bobble hat. Okay, so they will be going like that. And then you would put your JD bag in, which is plastic drawstring. Okay, we'll talk about why in a minute. So you'd be putting that in. Doesn't have to be JD, can be any type of bag. And towel, any old towel, obviously, doesn't matter. I'm rolling it up to save some space. Putting that in. Okay. And then the last thing for me to put in is my hot water bottle with my thermal top round it. Okay. And then what will happen is when you go to the lake or the sea or whatever and you get undressed, you're then keeping this thermal vest on and you're wrapping your other clothes around. So the reason it has to live on top is because when you've got yourself undressed, you're wrapping those clothes around, aren't you? And then you're putting them on top like that, so that they are there as soon as you get out, the first thing. Your dry robe and your Alp kit coat or your warm coat or whatever, if it's raining, you can just take off your coat and you can lie your dry robe over the top, because you're not going to be in very long if it's very cold, and so your dry robe isn't going to get incredibly wet on the outside. It's shower proof, so that will be fine. Okay, I'm going in my costume. Some people don't do that, so you've got a whole different changing routine. So your coat and your dry robe are accessible and they're there at the side of the lake or on the beach.
Okay, I will be turning up in Crocs. Some people won't. Your Crocs need to be on top, but what you're really going to do is walk into the lake or into the sea in these Crocs, aren't you? So you're just throwing them to the side, okay? So we're not really mentioning about packing order for Crocs. You get your JD bag and you go like this, and you stand on your JD bag so that you're not getting twigs and bits of bark and things on your feet. Somebody asked me this from the last video, and if it's really cold air temperature and it's really cold water, to struggle around under a dry robe, taking your costume off and you're trying to peel it off and it won't come down and you're really freezing and your hands aren't working, I think sometimes you're leaving yourself more vulnerable to trying to undress and take your costume off. So sometimes I just put my things over the top of my costume and it dries pretty quickly. There might be lots of people that tell me that that's the wrong idea. And of course, it isn't great to have that coldness, you know, right next to your skin. But then, do you want to spend 7 minutes struggling to get your costume off underneath your dry robe? Because your dry robe is good for changing, but I don't think they're particularly good for warmth. That's a bit controversial, isn't it? It's good for warmth over other layers, but in terms of getting changed underneath it, it's not very warm while you're getting changed underneath it. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to post the order of the packing order, so there'll be a list photographed and it'll come at the end of the video.
Or in the description.
Or in the description, that's true. My wonderful technical daughter will sort all that out for me. And I hope you found the video useful. And so, just quickly, I wanted each video to include a really interesting fact. And scientists have found that sperm whales in deep sleep vertically. There'll be a photo coming up now to show you. It's quite eerie, but really interesting. And I'll post the link below to the BBC article about animals and strange sleeping habits. Okay. Well, I just thought that fact was really interesting. Anyway, so that's me. And if you've got any questions, please post underneath and check out my other videos. Bye-bye.